Well, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for coming. Earlier tonight, Governor Walker outlined his vision for the future of Alaska in a very moving State of the State address. And I agree with many of his comments. I'm sure, well, we all probably agreed with a lot of his comments, but I'm especially proud that a lot of the things he brought forward has been what Democrats have been working on for quite a while. Medicaid expansion, rape, sexual assaults, Aaron's Law, National Guard issues we're bringing forward, and I'm proud to say that he is going to hire and announce a special investigator tomorrow. And then protecting and supporting public education and doing everything we can for workforce development. But also making sure that we have a vision and a plan for the state of Alaska. Making sure that we take our resources and we do some sort of value-added physical goods manufacturing rather than shipping that off to the rest of the world and then buying it back in final product. And that's how we take control of our own destiny, and that's the way that we no longer become a colony state. We've had a lot of talks about working together, and it's true, there's a lot of campaign slogans, but I really feel that spirit out of him. I think it's genuine that he really wants people to come together, not just the legislature coming together within one another, not with the legislature and him working together, but all Alaskans coming together. And Democrats, we are ready to roll up our sleeves and work long days to make sure that that spirit of unity, the one that encompasses the whole administration of Governor Walker and Lieutenant Governor Malott, is evident during this legislative session. However, that spirit can be jeopardized if the majorities don't join us in coming together to solve the problems that the state of Alaska is facing. Petty party politics needs to stop. There was a time in Alaska history where Republican, Democrat, it didn't matter. Once elected, people came together and did what's best for Alaska. And that's what Governor Walker, I heard in his speech, is trying to get back to, is bringing all Alaskans back together. Alaska is blessed with abundance of natural resources and incredible, talented people. We are all Alaskan, and we believe in Alaska and its great potential. And as he said, our finest days are ahead of us. Democrats want to make Alaska a place where ideas and innovation flourish, education is the highest quality. As a result, the economy thrives and good jobs are plentiful. So let us all come together and make sure that we do the best for all Alaska. And Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Representative Tuck. I'm an enthusiast. I'm trying to not gush too much. I thought it was a wonderful speech, very hopeful, very inspirational, and at times even poetic. On my way out of the chamber, I overheard one of my colleagues talking. It was a Republican from the House, and he was saying, he sounded like a true Alaskan. Yeah, we can do this. And I thought, that's exactly the way I felt. I told him I'm going to copy those down and use your sentences. So it was great. I had a few takeaways. One is the confidence, and the confidence based on evidence that this governor has, that the markets in Japan really do want our gas. And we've had a sense for several years that Japanese buyers have been kind of frozen out. And we've way back to the Murkowski administration, where the Japanese were complaining that they just couldn't get a hearing, that they weren't getting responses to their overtures. So I'm reassured to know that that's still the case, that they're interested and they want Alaska's gas, under certain conditions, of course. I also really liked Governor Walker's approach to the issue about working with regulatory agencies and trying to find changes. And he said, you have to listen to them. You have to address the concerns, and that's the way we move forward, not just by filing lawsuits at every turn. So that's a big takeaway for me. And like Representative Tuck, I really liked the teeth he's putting into choose respect, if you will. I love that, his commitment is to have a full investigation that's open, and that Alaskans will know who did what and what the consequences are, because we want to make sure that wrongdoers who work for us, and the National Guard does, are punished. They don't skate free. And we also love his support for Aaron's Law, which is a program that teaches children how to to recognize when they're being groomed or when the behavior that they're experiencing from adults around them is inappropriate and what they can do about it. That's truly choosing respect. It's empowerment. It's information. And I think we're going to take the right direction here now. I applaud this governor.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look like we have any press here for questions. So, yes, I guess we do. Yes, feel free to please state your name and affiliation. Sorry. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I guess I got things in the way there. Go ahead. Feel free.
I'm Steve Quinn, freelance writer on the Jew. I write for a lot of publications. Did you expect to hear more of a plan from the governor? The governor did say, don't panic, make a plan. Some felt that there wasn't a plan.
I think that will come. This was a 1-hour speech that hit on a lot of different themes, and to talk about that is a bigger process, and I expect that it has to come after the state of the budget, or maybe the beginnings of that as part of that. So this time he was talking about our themes and goals, vision, and I think we'll get more meat in the days to come.
And I think that message of coming together, working together, is necessary and needed. As he quoted, that it's not just one party that comes up with great ideas. And really, it's not just up to the legislature to come up with all the great ideas. We need to hear from the Alaskans. And so this whole thing of coming together, and the way he started off as being governor and bringing people together during his transition, I think we're going to see a lot of that. And we need to have that, because then we have buy-in from the public. Yes.
Pat Forgay, Alaska Inspection News. Did you hear anything from the governor about pipelines that you didn't already know?
Not in this speech. I mean, one thing that's nice to know is that he's been working on a pipeline since we had our Trans-Alaska Pipeline go into service. So he's been a big pipeline guy. I served on the All-Alaska Gas Alliance with him. And so, and he sounded, and I believe he is, determined to get something going, to get our gas to markets. And by having meetings with Japan, I think is a very great first step. He's only been in office just for a couple months actually. And so I expect to see a lot of great things coming from him.
And I'd just like to add to that we haven't heard anything about buyers coming from other pipeline proposals. And this is the other end of the deal. One part is shippers, but the shippers are nothing if they don't have buyers. And this governor is talking with buyers. They are calling him, and he's taking those calls.
Any other questions?
Alexander Gutierrez, APRN. I guess following up on Pat's question more broadly, what new things did you learn in this speech?
Well, I think, one thing I'm very proud about is that he would like to see Aaron's Law passed in the state of Alaska. I mean, that's something that's very needed with the sexual assault that we have going on in the state. We didn't hear that from the previous governor. And so I'm really proud that, because I didn't know anything about this until Representative Tarr brought this forward. I'm glad that she's fought so hard over the last 2 years and actually brought Aaron Marin up to Alaska. And I think that that's the reason why you see two bills happening, is because we now have the majority interested in seeing this piece of legislation pass as well. So I hope we all come together, take Representative Tarr's leadership, and see this come to serving Alaska.
For my part, what I heard was a lot of confirmation of things we believed of him. The brand new parts are the really wide open door policy, expanding his cabinet by having an Arctic policy advisor, including the railroad and the permanent fund and the university as part of his cabinet, that they're going to be participating in the discussions and putting forward their viewpoints. So those are the things that were brand new to me, but the other elements are confirmation. Except for the fact that I hadn't known that Japanese buyers had been talking with him since the election, and that's great.
Any further questions?
What would you like to hear tomorrow, specifically?
That magically the problem's solved.
Yeah, and it's appropriate for him to have an overreaching vision for the state of Alaska in this next one, Tomorrow, I do expect to hear a little bit more details. We're talking about the budget. We would be here for a long time if we had combined those two together, but because